Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG, and in this video I have a yarn haul from Hobby Lobby and I have a skein of yarn from Michaels, a skein, whatever, and besides some coupons basically, and then I have some other Thrifty finds and stuff, and I'll talk about that. It's more like, random stuff, one of my variegated videos, but I'll start with the yarn first and then I'll get to all the random stuff if you care about all that. But anyway, so I went to Hobby Lobby. It was the 8th week in a row where it seems like my Hobby Lobby, every single time they have a shipment day, they're as they're putting the new yarn on the shelves, they're pulling yarn off and clearance again. And this week I actually I knew that they were going to be clearancing the yarn, and as I went in there, they had already finished putting all the yarn, because usually when I go in there, they're in the process of putting the new yarn on the shelves, and they're pulling the yarn off, and sometimes it's in a cart or like whatever. But this day they had already gotten all the boxes. They had already put all the stuff on the shelf. They must have been like had a lot of people there or something and working. But they put all the yarn on the shelves, and they already pulled the yarn off and discounted it. It was already in the remnant section, so I didn't even have to like wait for it or come back 4 or 5 times or 15 times like that other haul. So they already had it in the remnant, so I got it. So a really nice bunch of yarn. And I don't know if I have the receipt in here or not. No, I don't see the receipt anywhere. So I don't know how many skeins this is. I'll count it as I go along, but whatever. And so this one, this is like one of the prettiest ones. Baby Be Adorable, and the color is Happy-licious. And it's that kind of velvet, chenille yarn. And but it's all these like multicolors. It's just every primary color practically. Purple and orange, pink, yellow, green, blue. Just this gorgeous mix of colors. And I feel like I should put this on my niece's wall, because I mean, I could make some pretty scrunchies with this, but I feel like she could make some pretty scrunchies with this too, or she's gonna love this. So I may put this on my niece's wall. But this was $1.24, so I got that. And then shout out to Shell. I love this yarn print, and then the colorway is Songbird Stripe. I should know that, or I shouldn't have to look at it, because this is that yarn that I used for the cowl that I made for Shell, from the Shell Chronicles. And and then I eventually got one discounted, clearanced or whatever. And now I got another one, $1.24. And so the base of it is kind of like a light tan, and has some greens and blues and a dark brown, almost like that dark purpley brown, and just a really pretty mix of colors, kind of like earth tone mix of colors. And so I got one of those, another one of those, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunky, and then this is the color white, just a white color. Although this is sort of like not like a really bright white. I've seen some white yarn that's really bright white. This is sort of like a soft white, and $1.24 for that. So it's the chunky yarn. And then this one is Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunky, another one of those chunky. And the color is, okay, I was about to say, it felt like one of those skeins was going to be called Pumpkin Spice. No, this is just called Spice. I must not have gotten this before, because I don't remember one just called where it's just called Spice. I think I've gotten a cinnamon one or something, and pumpkin spice, but I don't think I've gotten one that's just called Spice. It's kind of like a cinnamony, like light brown color, and so it is a little like spice, like you would imagine, like a cinnamony kind of thing. No, it actually doesn't smell like cinnamon. Most of that stuff is gone, that cinnamon stuff. Whoever has it, God knows what their house smells like. But they don't have it in my store anymore. It's not as cinnamony as you walk in, as it was when they first started getting all the Christmas stuff in there. But really pretty, sort of a light brownish color, chunky yarn. $1.24 for that. And then another one of these donut ball things, Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, and the color is Pretty and Peacock. And this is the second one of this I've gotten. This yarn is really thin, but gorgeous yarn. And so I want to try to figure out how to use this, even if I hate to even like waste this, or in my head. If you're somebody that this is like really nice yarn, you're gonna think that I'm gonna be wasting it if I do that triple up method, or if I pair this with another yarn, or like double it up, since now that I have 2 of them, and use it as double. I don't know. I just don't know. It would take so long to crochet something significant with this like really thin yarn, so I don't know. I may do that, or I may not, but it's gorgeous yarn. I love this, how pretty it is, and all the different shades of the color in it. It's kind of like these dark teals and stuff. there must be like 100 different shades in this. Just, if you've ever seen this in person, you know what I'm talking about. How it like from far away, it just looks like one color, but it's not. It's so many. It's so much more interesting when you look at it. You're thinking, God, so many different shades in there. Just like the effect. It's really pretty. And this was $1.24 for that. And one of these, I love this yarn print and the colorway Autumn Stripe. Just like, you know, oranges and browns and greens, just like fall colors. Like really gorgeous variegated skein. And I know I have some fall skeins, but I think the one that I have is Red Heart. I don't know if I've ever gotten like the I Love This Yarn version of this, but I'm not really sure. Because I have so many yarns, it's hard for me to keep track sometimes. But I don't think I'm like that. I don't think I have this specific one. See, there's that one that I have from Red Heart right here, but I don't know. I don't think I've gotten theirs before. Theirs is prettier than Red Heart, by the way. Like the brown and orange and stuff in this is a lot prettier. Oh, there's a little bit of a burgundy-ish red in here too. But this is really gorgeous. I love this. So 6 in that bag, and then the other bag. I love this yarn print and the color Marled Mocha. And some of my commenters, like when I had gotten some of this in another haul, I asked like, what's the pattern of this? Because it's not really speckled, it's not really, I mean, it's a variegated yarn, but it's not really speckled, it's not really striped, it's not really stone wash, or like, what is this? And a couple people said, this is heathered. So, and I know I have that gray skein of yarn, or I'm pointing at, it used to be up there, it's over there now. That gray skein of yarn, like I've heard the word heathered, but I didn't know that that's what this was. And so that it's a heathered looking skein, if you know what that is. So it almost looks striped. How it, the two yarns kind of twisted around each other, and it makes this like striped effect, but it's called heathered. And it has like a light creamy color, almost like a creamy gray. And then the other strand that's wrapped around it is like a brown color. So that's Marled Mocha, those heathered yarns. And then another Yarn Bee Soft Secret. This is the color Biscuit. Oh, that's funny. I know there's a skein, there's like 2 skeins over there called Butter. I'll have to make something with butter and biscuits, and I make my buttered biscuit scarf or whatever. This one's called Biscuit. It's a really light, sort of like an ivory color, like the color of biscuit dough. So I'll have to pair my more yellowy butter one with my biscuit colored one. So it is like a really pretty ivory color. And so this is $1.49. See what I'm saying? Okay, so this was clearanced. Because I'm still trying to figure out like the I said in one of my videos, Hedgie on Board, shout out. I thought about her like a minute ago when I was talking about that heathered yarn over there, and I almost said her name, but I thought I'm just like talking about some random yarn, so I get to say her name anyway. Ambulance, I'm going by. She mentioned in the comments of one of my videos that she noticed that the Yarn Bee Soft Secrets were going up to $5.49 in her store, because they were regular price $4.99. And so and then when I went into my store, I noticed that they were on the shelves. There were some that were $4.99, and there were some that were $5.49, but there were also some that were $5.99. Those were the ones that I thought were going up in price. I thought it was going up to $5.99. But if this one was regular $5.99, why the hell was this one discounted? Like, that's weird. You would think that... See, it's also random. Just when I feel like, oh, I figured it out. They're only discounting yarn now on the shipment days. So I'm just going to go in there on the shipment days. I go in there some random day, and there's like 2 skeins in there. Or I go in there some random day, and then there's like more yarn. Or like I feel like, oh, I finally figured it out. They're putting new yarn on the shelf, and they're pulling all the old ones off because it's all like the old prices. This is like one of the new prices, like $5.99. I thought this is what they were going up to. So why are they getting rid of this if the $5.99? I don't know. I'll never figure the damn stuff out. I can't complain about it. I'm not doing it to complain about it. It's just like it would be so much easier if I was like a social person and just had the guts to go over to somebody in Hobby Lobby. Like that woman that went over to me one time and told me if I waited a couple minutes, I could get the yarn because she discounted it right then. If I could just if I had the guts to walk over to her and say, what's the deal with the prices of the yarn? Are they going up, or like why are these being discounted, or what? I don't have it in me to do that. I don't know. I'm just not a social person at all. So, but maybe it's a little bit more fun to like kind of make it up in my head. Although I do get kind of like rattled when I think I figured it out. I have fun like dreaming up the scenarios and figuring it out, and like some mystery or whatever. And then I feel like I got it. I figured it out when I'm not supposed to know like why the yarn's being discounted or when it's gonna be discounted. And I figured it out. And then something that just like throws me off, and I'm thinking, oh, now what is it? Like, I'm trying to figure it out now. So I don't know. This was $1.49 because the regular price was $5.99, which I thought was the new price, but I guess I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's even like sort of squared off, like they just pulled it out of the box. Did they accidentally discount this one or whatever? Because it just still squared off, like it's been shoved in a box. I don't know, but whatever. So that was $1.49. And then I already lost count. Was that there's 6 in that? So it doesn't matter. And so a Baby Bee Sweet Delight, and the color Sandcastle. I feel like I've gotten this before. It's sort of like a tan color. Like if you compare it to this, it's more brownish than this one. This is like an ivory, and there's sort of like an ivory tan. And so this is $1.49 because the regular price is $5.99 for that. And another Baby Bee Sweet Delight. This is the color Ballet Slipper. And so this feels more like Ballet Slipper. Although in this light, it almost looks a little purpley. It is a very light pink, like a ballet slipper pink, what I imagine like a ballet slipper pink, like that shade is. But this feels a little bit more purple than pink. Maybe it's a dye lot issue or something, but I mean, it doesn't feel like the soft pink that a ballet slipper is in my head. I'm not really immersed in ballet culture or whatever. I don't really watch like ballerina movies or like I don't know the exact shade of those ballet slippers, but it just feels like the movie reference in my head is like the ballerinas in Wizard of Oz or whatever, like that that pink color. And so this just feels a little bit more purpley than pink. But it's called ballet slipper. I mean, do they have like light pink that it's almost like a purple ballet slippers? I thought they was all like sort of a pinkish color, or like, I don't know. But anyway, so that's what this is called, ballet slipper. $1.49 for that. And then a Yarn Bee Yarntopia. Again, this Yarntopia is so soft. Like every single one I've ever touched. And this, what is this, a 3? No, a fine 2. But these Yarntopias are so soft. It's the Yarn Bee Yarntopia in the color Ivory. So in like an ivory color. Perfect description of that. This one was 99 cents. So got that one. And then Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. And the color is just like a regular one, not a chunky. And the color, oh God, pumpkin spice, of course. No, I know I have one of these because I've talked about that before. Then I do have a colorway that's pumpkin spice. It's like an orange color, like a pumpkin orange color. That's why it's called pumpkin spice. But whatever. So $1.24 for that. And this is really soft too. So because there's a couple, like R&B soft and sleek. They are a little, on the rough side. Not like some of the Red Heart rough, but like it isn't as soft as some of their I Love This yarn. But this is actually really soft. And then the last one. And I haven't gotten this colorway before, but it's I Love This yarn print, and the colorway is Surprise Stripe. And I love this though, but it has grays and pinks and some black in it. I love when they have variegated colors that have black in it. And this is really pretty. I don't know why I haven't gotten this before, but it is really pretty, like with the pink and the gray and the black in it. And some of the gray is a little speckled in it, and it's a really pretty colorway. But this is $1.24, so I did get that one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if the bag was 6, if I remember that right, so that's 13 skeins. So really good haul. Okay, so that's the Hobby Lobby yarn, and then I'll do the Michael skein. I had a coupon. I think it was 30% off, and then they sent me an email saying. Michaels sent me an email saying that we gave you a gift, and what they gave me was I was like $1.24 or something away in rewards points to get my next $5 voucher, and so they gave me that number of points to give me another voucher, and I don't know why. They must have thought like, oh, we haven't seen him for a while. He keeps coming in, but he doesn't buy anything. We better give him a voucher, or else he's never going to buy anything in the store again. But anyway, so I'm just making up stuff. It's just the funny crap I make up in my head. But they sent me a $5 voucher, and so I bundled it with the coupon, which I think was 30% off. Yes, 30% off. And so I wanted to get something in there. And yeah, I could have gotten something else, but whatever. I thought, I'll get some yarn. And so, because I'm so desperate for it, I don't have any at all. No, so I went through there, and it's just a ridiculous person. So I went through there, and what I was thinking about doing was, I thought maybe I could get more of that big twist, the sapphire color, because it is really pretty. But I thought if I do that, it's gonna take 30% off of that, and then I didn't want to waste it on that, because the way I figured it would have been like $3 and something for me to get 2 of those skeins, and I didn't want to spend that because I'm such a cheap person. God, I'm getting ready to talk about like some of this other stuff that I spent like a lot of money on, or not a lot of money, but like more than a skein of yarn. But I'm like sitting here, I don't know why it like made me crack up, but I'm just like, God, I'm so cheap. I didn't want to spend $3 or whatever in Michaels and stuff, but I'd rather do it this way and get like 1 skein of yarn and only spend like $1. It's just, God, I'm such a cheap person sometimes. I mean, I'm so ridiculous. It makes me laugh. But anyway, so like all the time, like if I really sit down and think about just how ridiculous of a person I am, and like all the deals and stuff and how cheap I am and about every freaking thing, it's just ridiculous. And so I could have gotten 2 skeins of yarn, and I would have had to spend $3 and something. But I thought I'd rather get like one like this and only spend like $1 or something. Although if I would have split it in half, it would have been around the same amount. But whatever, or no, it would have been more. Whatever, I'm just so stupid. But anyway, so I thought I had the 30% off, and then the $5 voucher. So I got another one of those skeins of the Skyscape. And so the Skyscape regular price is $8.99, and so the 30% off took $2.70% off, and then the $5 voucher took $5 off. So I only had to spend $1.29 on this. So it almost felt like I was getting a skein from Michaels, like a nicer skein from Michaels for the same price as like the the cheap clearance yarn in Hobby Lobby. That's what sort of made it a good deal in my head. But whatever, it's stupid. But it's another one of those loops and threads Skyscape, and the colorway is burgundy and navy multi. And so it's like, mainly like it's not really burgundy. It sort of feels like more browns and yeah, there's a little bit of navy blue in this, but it feels more like fall colors than what they're like burgundy. There's barely any burgundy in this. It's more of like a really pretty brown color, but I wouldn't call that burgundy. But and then there's a little bit of blue in it. But I could have gotten another one of those like peacock colored ones or whatever. But I got this one because I was thinking about the fall blanket that I want to make. The one that I'm going to be using, the yarn that I got from the big markdown at Hobby Lobby last year. And then the ones that I got on eBay to go with that, those black ones. And I'm going to make the fall blanket, and then I'm going to put like leaves. I'm going to attach leaves to it. I'm going to find some tutorials for some leaves. And there's a couple skeins of yarn that are like this that I want to use just a little bit out of to make some of the leaves, to make more, because I do have some of that that yarn bee glowing. It's not this yellow color. It's the one that's up there. That matches the blanket, or you can't even see it. It has like the oranges and the gold and all that. I'm going to use that to make some of the leaves. But there's a skein. There are skeins like this a Red Heart gemstone that I had gotten in one of the first hauls that I did when I came back to YouTube, like this, where like these really pretty earth tones with like golds and oranges and like olive greens and all that. Like I want to use like some from all the skeins like this to make like a whole bunch of different kinds of leaves. Not just use like that glowing or whatever to make like the leaves. I want to use a little bit out of some of these to make some different kind of leaves too. So it's more of a mix, and that's one of the reasons why I got this, because I thought this would make like a pretty interesting leaf to go on that blanket. But that's why I got that one. So yeah, I could have used the voucher and the coupon to, you know, get like 2 skeins or whatever. But I just thought I'll get another one of these skyscapes. It is really nice and soft. It's a little like the halo-y stuff on it. It does stick to my hands a little bit, but I do have OCD and I want compulsively to wash my hands. And as I'm filming this, it's, you know, getting into the fall and it's cold, and so my hands are like extra dry. But it's not as bad as like some of the wool that I've felt that you know, sticks to my hands. But it's just like it sticks to my hands just a little bit. But it is really soft otherwise. Like if I touch it on an area where you know, where I haven't washed my hands, you know, so many times, it's really soft, and I do love the feel of this skyscape. It's expensive in my head just because I'm a cheap person. God, but whatever. So that was only $1.29, so really good deal on that. And so now I'll go on to the random stuff. And I'll start with this since it's sort of crochet, and then all the rest of the stuff will be just like random. But I found a puzzle in Goodwill, and it's adorable. It was only $1.99, and I got it was opened, and all the pieces were in like a baggie that, you know, didn't come with this box. But I got it anyway because I thought hopefully all the pieces would be there, and but if not, I could use the box and like display the box in here. But I have that picture in here with like the 3D picture that is like kitties in a basket with balls of yarn. And so here's another it's another picture, but this is a puzzle. Like they're the white kitties too, just like this, and they're with a basket full of yarn, or these little yarn balls and stuff. And so this is an adorable little puzzle, and I thought I could do the puzzle and then like you know, hang it up in here. And so when I got home, the piece, it was only a 100-piece puzzle or whatever. So it wasn't that difficult. The pieces are pretty big. And so I sat in there and I did the puzzle, and it didn't take me very long. And luckily all the pieces were there. And so that was a relief. And so this is what the puzzle looks like, and you know, all put together and everything. And what I do, the reason why I can hold it like this is because I don't my sister-in-law does puzzles and stuff, and I'd gotten her like with one of my vouchers or coupons or whatever one time from Michael's to get her some of that glue that you could put on puzzles to, you know, preserve them. But I didn't have any of that glue or whatever, and so I thought, oh, I do have some hot glue, and what I could do is I had to like put something on top of it and underneath it and like flip it after I did the puzzle, and I used some hot glue and like the high temperature kind, and I just went along all the seams on the back, and I mean, it looks ridiculous, but I did that to the back of it, and it's holding it together. And so what I'm going to do is, and I was going to put it in a frame or whatever, but it's sort of an odd size. 11 by 12 and a half. Like, you know, I don't even know if they would have like a specific frame that size, but I thought, you know, it's all put together, and like if I can hold it like this and it's not falling apart, then I could just, you know, hang it up like this. It's just like a light puzzle. And I'll put some of that blue stick tape or that putty tape or whatever, and put it on the back and put it underneath that picture of the other kitties that I have with the balls of yarn. I thought that would make a pretty decoration in this, you know, yarn room. But got that too. And then a couple of the random things. I'm not going to go into details about all this, but I got a memoir from Christopher Reeve and one from Sharon Glass, and so that might be interesting. And then I did get a movie. The only reason I got it is that the woman that is in this, I think she played Old Christine's mother on the New Adventures of Old Christine. I do like that show. And so that woman right there, introducing the Dwights. That's the only reason I got that. I got that at Salvation Army. No, that's just completely random. But one of the things I got when I was at Salvation Army was, and you're going to think, God, you already have one of those. But they had this Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone poster. It's like one of those, you know, canvas art print things or whatever. But this one's like smaller than the other one that I have. And so, yeah, the other one's like really big, and I bought it at Ollie's for $18. But this one was only $6 at Salvation Army. So I thought I'm gonna go ahead and get this because like my one of my rooms upstairs is nothing but Harry Potter, or there's DVDs and stuff, and there's some other collectibles, but like for the most part it's just like Harry Potter, just, you know, everywhere. And so I have multiple walls up there, and so I'm gonna put like the big one. I know where I'm gonna put the big one, and then I'm gonna have the smaller one somewhere else. But I did want to get the other one because I couldn't believe that I found another one. And then speaking of, like, you know, shrunken down things that I already have, I went to Ollie's and they had another one of those like Super Nintendo things, except this one's like that poster that I got from my mom, that one that the Beatles one that is in a wooden frame like this. This one was, I think, $10. This was $10. And so this was actually more expensive than the bigger poster that I have, but the poster that I have is just like a regular poster. And so I think that poster was that one that was like $6 or $7 or whatever it was. When they had a sticker on the back that was cheaper, and they scanned the more expensive one, and I didn't realize it until later. That poster. So I do have this this poster like this, but this one is a lot nicer. And so while I'm going to keep both of the Harry Potter ones, because there's no way I would ever sell this, because I love Harry Potter, and so I'll find a place for both of them. But like for this, I feel like I might. I haven't taken that poster out of the cardboard yet. I might sell that if I can't figure out something to do with it. It would be nice to, like, it looks exactly like this, except it's a lot bigger. But I didn't really know, like I said, when I got it, and I was talking about it in a video, I don't really know where to put it up there, because where my where my Retron is, that I can play Super Nintendo games on, it's mainly like Harry Potter stuff everywhere. So there's not really like a space on the ceilings, or I have like one of those slanted ceilings, or like the walls or whatever to put, because they're like shelves of physical media and stuff everywhere. There's not really like a place to, like, where my Retron is to put that big poster. And so I didn't really know what to do with it, but I thought it was cool as hell. But like this, I feel like my Retron is on this little table, and on the top of it has, at Walmart I had found they had a little, it looked like a remnant of fabric, but I guess it's just like a pre-cut piece of fabric, and it had like characters from the Super Mario World video game. And so I have that, like, on that little table. It's just like a really tiny little table, and it has my Retron and my games on it, and the controllers and stuff. And so I thought, like, this would be better to, like this would fit like perfectly right underneath that table. Like, the legs on that table are like, not very far apart, so I could, like, lean this up against those legs, and have it there with my Retron and my Super Nintendo games and Nintendo games. And then I'll either sell the other poster, or if I could think of a way to, I hate to even like do this, but like, if I could think of something to do with the picture of the controller, I can kind of cut that out of that poster and just, like, throw right the rest of it. But cut that out and, like, do something with it. I don't know if I will or not. But if not, I'll just save it for the yard sale, and somebody will, be able to buy it real cheap at a yard sale, like the actual poster. Even though it's bigger, this is a lot nicer. It's one of those like textured things, and it's wooden frame and everything. It was worth the $10, even though it was smaller. So I did get that at Ollie's. It's a totally random thing. And I'll talk about this. I've talked in my videos how I like the 10th Kingdom. And I do have a small 10th Kingdom collection. It's in that room where my Harry Potter stuff is. It's a very small collection. I'm not going to ever have like a huge collection of 10th Kingdom stuff. It's more of an obscure TV miniseries from the year 2000. But anyway, so I do collect the magazines that have articles or ads in it. And I did buy this on eBay. And the only reason I bought this is because I knew that there was an ad in here for the 10th Kingdom. This is like, you're gonna think, like, who cares? It's just like a magazine. But this is like the coolest thing. I've seen this ad so many times, but to see it as a 2-page spread in full color in a magazine, it was worth the money. I think it was like $10 on eBay. It was this. This is the ad for the 10th Kingdom, and so because it has, like, that's how old it is. It has like the Twin Towers, because this was made in the year 2000. But it has New York City, and then underneath there's like a castle, because it's about, like, fairy tale characters and characters from our world going into the fairy tale world, and so that's why there's, like, the contrast between the New York skyline and the one with the castle and all that. So, but that's what, and it has like a lot of really good people in it. If you've never seen the 10th Kingdom, it's actually on YouTube if you want to watch it. And they have the DVD and Blu-ray, and there's a book out of this, and it's just a really good, and they're making a sequel, he wrote, Simon Moore, who wrote the 10th Kingdom. He wrote a sequel, and it's going to be a book. It's called Big Bad Wolf. But I love the 10th Kingdom, and so I did get this magazine, so it came. And so it's just like a total random thing. But this is the kind of stuff that I collect, just like random magazines and stuff. But I do have a lot of like the 10th Kingdom magazines. But anyway, if you've never watched the 10th Kingdom, you ought to give it a shot. There's a lot of really good people in it. It's a really fun, I mean, of course there's like some cringy moments where it's like a 10-hour miniseries, but without commercials, it's like maybe 7 hours or something. It's worth it. It's like this big fantasy epic, and it's just like it was a 5-part miniseries on NBC. It was a really big deal. And so I just love it. So I did get that. It's a totally random thing. And then I've said, you know, how my mom loves Snow White, and we were in Goodwill, and they had this little Snow White, because like in one of my videos I showed that we have like all the little figurines that we got at that little thrift store of the 7 dwarfs, and we didn't have a Snow White. Of course, this is like too small to be like the Snow White that belongs with those 7 dwarfs that we have. But at least she has like a Snow White figurine. But it's a floating soap dish. I guess for, you know, like little kids in the bathtub, that, you know, this will like float in the water or something, and you could put like the little, there's actually the bars of soap still in it. This was $2.99, and so the little platform that she's sitting on has like the little cottage and stuff, and then she comes out, and it and see, so it's like this little plastic thing that, you know, floats in the water, I guess. And then it even has the little bars of soap that are still wrapped in the packaging or whatever. That has like the, you know, little Snow White characters on it and stuff. But I just got it for my mom's Snow White collection, because she just loves Snow White. And yeah, it's not, you know, a big one that, you know, sort of matches her 7 dwarfs or whatever. But at least she has a Snow White figurine too. Maybe one day when I display them properly, I'll like, you know, find a way to put her, you know, like use that, you know, forced perspective thing, and like put her, you know, up far enough where it looks like she's, you know, way in the distance or whatever, and so it kind of matches. I don't know, but so I did get her that, so it was $3. And then I went to Goodwill, and I see this is like all over the place. I went to Goodwill, and they had this bag of hearts, and like I said, I have a huge I Love Lucy collection. And with my I Love Lucy collection, I have some little vases of flowers, and like the pink tulips. I talked about it in another video. And so I bought these because I thought I could put these in the vases, because I have, you know, 2 vases now, or no, 3, because there's one in this bag where the hearts fell. No, so I did buy these to like sort of decorate those vases, and then there's even a vase in here that's shaped like a heart. So now I have 3, but it's an adorable little vase. This is even smaller than the original one I have. So I'm gonna have a little flower vase. So I'm gonna have like 3 of them upstairs. I'm gonna have to get some more tulips or something to put in them, or I could just put these in there. But they're just like these little flowers that I mean, they have leaves, but they're flowers that look like little hearts, and they have a sparkle on them and stuff. And so there's all kinds of like pink ones and all that, just like a bag of those. This was $1.99. So yeah, it's just like decorative stuff. But like I love this. It's gonna my I Love Lucy collection is gonna be just like, you know, gorgeous, with all these like hearts all over the place, and glittery hearts, and all kinds of stuff. I love I Love Lucy. I think it's probably the first thing I really started to collect, like from childhood. I love I Love Lucy, and so I have a big collection of Lucy stuff, and so that's going to go with my Lucy stuff. And then speaking of that, you know, the last thing, I went to Goodwill, and this is a different day than I found the hearts, but I went to Goodwill and I found this, and it's a little messed up on the side right here, but I don't care. But it's a picture frame, and it says girlfriends on it, and it has Lucy and Ethel, and this is only $1.99. And so I love it. It's like a picture frame that's Lucy related. I couldn't believe that they had, you know, something Lucy related, and an adorable little picture frame. And I'm not gonna put a picture in it because it's gonna, you know, cover up that logo. But no, it's just an adorable little I Love Lucy picture frame. But anyway, so that's probably gonna be it for this video. I know this is like random and all over the place and all that, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.